I never imagined a quiet night at home with my son would make me question everything about love, boundaries, and intimacy. As a mother, you understand the bond. Your child is your world, your reason to get up each day. For me, that child was Jake, my only family. I'm Laura Jensen, 44, an ER nurse in Colorado, divorced for 15 years, and Jake, 22, is my entire life. He's mature, grounded, and to be honest, I probably rely on him too much. We're extremely close. People often say we're like sisters. I used to think it was harmless. One cold October night, Jake returned from his lab shift exhausted. I suggested he lie on my bed because it was warmer. I didn't know why I woke in the middle of the night. It wasn't the noise, it was the feeling of him breathing against my neck, holding me like when he was a child. At first, nothing seemed wrong, but something felt different. His arms weren't just hugging, they were touching, holding, waiting. And then I realized, Jake wasn't asleep, and I wasn't sure I was lying next to a child anymore. I know this sounds confusing, maybe wrong, but it's a story of tested boundaries, of love gone astray, and the danger of silence in a home. My life, like my stitches as an ER nurse, kept things from falling apart, but my heart wasn't stitched back together. I divorced when Jake was 7. Matt wasn't a bad man. He just left quietly, without scandal, without yelling. I had no close family, my sister lived far away, and it became just Jake and me. Our bond was survival, a silent understanding that it was just us. Jake had always been calm, understanding my exhaustion, making breakfast when I overslept. We shared meals, conversations, and weekend trips. I thought our closeness was wonderful. When he went to college nearby, he stayed close, continuing our nightly routines, our shared world. It was a quiet life in a peaceful Denver neighborhood. Our neighbor David, a kind widower, lived nearby. Polite and helpful, he never intruded but was a comforting presence. Jake, however, maintained distance. I noticed his protective, possessive glances, but dismissed it at first. Over time, the glances grew harder to ignore. The way Jake moved closer to me, subtly asserting presence when David was near, unsettled me. I laughed it off as overprotectiveness. But deep down, I felt a shift I didn't understand. That October night changed everything. Jake lay on my bed, exhausted, and I felt the familiar comfort of his presence. But soon, I realized he wasn't asleep. His gentle touch carried intent, a subtle control that blurred lines. I froze, heart pounding, unsure of reality. When I asked if he was asleep, he whispered, just a little like this. I feel better. His tone was innocent and deliberate. My body remembered his childhood embrace, but my mind screamed caution. I remained still, letting the warmth linger. Minutes stretched. Jake shifted closer, his breath brushing my neck. I closed my eyes, afraid to see him as a man, not a child. He whispered softly, "Mom, are you okay?" and gently squeezed my arm. That gesture, seemingly harmless, carried unspoken tension. Jake spoke again, asking, "Have you ever felt something so right it couldn't be wrong?" I didn't respond. His confession of dependency and longing cut deeper than words. I realized my closeness, my over-reliance, had nurtured this intensity. I told him gently to return to his room. He left silently, hurt visible in his eyes. The house felt empty, heavy. No words had crossed boundaries overtly, yet the line had blurred. The next morning, everything felt strange and raw. Over the following days, Jake's behavior shifted. He was polite, diligent, almost unnervingly proper. His lingering gaze haunted me. I realized I was waiting for it, comforted by it even as it frightened me. We were trapped in a new, dangerous pattern. David noticed too. During a casual visit, he quietly observed our interactions and remarked on the unusual closeness. His words mirrored my fears, reflecting the truth I didn't want to see. Boundaries had been crossed emotionally. One rainy evening, Jake returned, soaked, silent. He confessed through tears and letters that he loved me, not as a mother, but as something more. I listened, horrified and helpless, realizing the emotional boundaries had been shattered. We didn't act on it physically, yet the acknowledgement alone was devastating. We existed in a liminal space, inches apart, aware of our forbidden feelings. Silence became unbearable. The intensity of unspoken emotions filled the house, a storm brewing between us. Jake decided to leave for a while, to regain perspective. We parted without hugs, without touch. The emotional space we had blurred needed distance. I handed him money, we exchanged soft apologies, acknowledging the depth of our connection and the wrongness of it. The house felt empty after he left. Every sound was sharp, every shadow suspicious. The realization hit me. I had crossed the line, not physically, not maliciously, but emotionally. Our love, once pure as mother and son, had twisted into something dangerous. The days after Jake left were heavy. At work, whispers followed me, glances that didn't need words. Everyone sensed tension, even if they didn't understand it. My life had shifted irreversibly. Boundaries once clear had dissolved, leaving only awareness of the consequences. I looked at old photographs, memories once comforting now charged with complexity. Jake's love, intense and overwhelming, lingered in every corner of the house. The line between maternal affection and forbidden desire had been crossed. I understood its depth but couldn't reverse it. Now, I live cautiously. I maintain distance, navigating a fragile space. The emotional entanglement with my son, the awareness of others, the fear of exposure, it all reminds me that silence and closeness, unchecked, can transform love into something unrecognizable.